Hey Pookies, my name is Mina. Welcome to my channel Mina Reads, and today I am doing a book unboxing. So let's get into it. Okay, so I know that I recently did my 2023 reading stats, 2024 reading goals video, and in that video I said that I wanted to cut down on my book buying habits, and so you shouldn't expect any hauls soon. And I guess I lied a little teeny tiny bit, but not too much, because all of this book mail is like PR, so I didn't buy it. So technically we're still on track with my limited spending bookish year. But I do have a lot of books here to show you. Before we get into like the unboxing, I did just want to quickly haul this one book. So I have the second book in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, The Two Towers, and this is the movie tie-in edition mass market paperback with Orlando Bloom on the cover. And I found this recently in my childhood bedroom when I went to my grandma's house to help her with something. And yeah, I found this in my childhood like book collection in my closet, and there was a bunch of books in there, but this is the one I decided to take home with me, and I'm kind of obsessed with this. Like, I feel like the design for the cover is actually not that bad for a movie tie-in edition. And usually I hate movie tie-in editions, and it has like reignited my desire to read the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I read Fellowship of the Ring in 2021, and it was a little bit too slow moving for me to absolutely love it as much as I love the film trilogy. But I have to dive back in because the writing style is so gorgeous, and I do have such a love and attachment towards like the characters, so I would love to read them, you know, in their original format. So I think I'm going to give this series another try. I believe I got this copy from one of my librarians in my elementary school, and they were like clearing out like old supply or something they were taking out of circulation, and so I remember her giving this to me. So you can still see like the little library labeling here, but yeah, it has like a lot of sentimental value to me, even though I haven't even read it yet. But I do have a lot of love for this series, so I wanted to haul it and talk about this new discovery. But yeah, it's just so cute. Also, the red matches my nails, so we love that for me. Let's get into some of these packages, shall we? Is there multiple books in here? Ooh, okay, so we have some manga to haul. So thank you to Yen Press for sending these over. So I have this one, See You in My 19th Life, and it's about this girl who keeps getting reincarnated, and she meets this boy that's like the love of her life, and every single time she meets him, she like dies, and she has to be reincarnated, and then they're reunited like a year later. And so he's kind of haunted and tormented by the fact that he's always seeing her die. I think that's what the synopsis says. It's like, it sounds kind of crazy and like really angsty, and I'm intrigued, so I absolutely have to read it. The cover is also really gorgeous, and yeah, so I'm gonna see what it's all about. Okay, so this book, Bride Barrier Master, is about a girl named Hana who comes from a really powerful magical family, and it's believed that she doesn't actually have any powers until she discovers her powers at like age 15, but she's hiding them from everyone because she just wants to live like a normal life. And this guy who is like the head of a powerful clan, he wants to marry her. So it seems like it's gonna be like a cute, magical, like maybe marriage of convenience romance. It looks cute. I like it. I really like the cover, and the art style is really cute. I'm going to show you what the inside looks like, but yeah, the art style is really pretty. It seems like it's cute, and I have really been enjoying like romance manga recently, so of course I'm tuned in. So then the next book that I have is Witch Life in a Micro Room, and this is a really adorable like slice of life manga about these two witches. They live in a micro room together. They have a really tiny place, and they're trying to make a name for themselves as witches, and it's set in like a modern society where witches are known. And it says that being a witch is all about showmanship just as much as it is about brewing the potions and like the magic you have. So it's about them trying to make a name for themselves in witchy society and get out of this teeny tiny room that they're living in. So I'm excited to check it out. I love comforting slice of life like magical stories. That's definitely my favorite type of manga or anime to read or watch, so I'm excited to read this one. So thank you to Yen Press for the goodies. Ooh, okay, I got a fantasy romance. Okay, so this book is called Lord of the Fading Lands by C.L. Wilson, and I believe this is actually a re-release of a series that came out some years ago, but it looks like they redid the covers and everything. And it's cute. I like this blue color. And so this is about a fey king who's like corrupted and evil, and he lives in a creepy fading lands, and he finds out about this girl named Rain, and something about her really calls to him. It seems like they have like a soul bond going on, and so she's kind of bringing him out from the darkness, so to speak. That's what the synopsis makes this sound like, and I have been getting into my fantasy romance bag recently, so I think this will be a really good pick. And I've heard nothing but good things about C.L. Wilson as a fantasy romance author, so I'm excited to check this out. I hope I'm gonna love it. Let's open this one. Okay, so the next book that I have here was sent to me by Orbit Books, so shout out to them. But they sent me Fathom Folk by Eliza Chan, and this book is about the Fathom Folk versus the humans. And so in this world, there's like a kind of a drowned city, and humans live in these really tall like skyscrapers, and they look down on the Fathom Folk, and the Fathom Folk are like water creatures. So the main character, she is a siren, and there are also like kelpies and and sea witches and kappas. Our main character, her name is Mira. So Mira, she gets promoted to being like a border guard for this like Fathom Folk city, and she believes this is going to be progress into giving the Fathom Folk like the rights that they deserve, because there's a lot of tension between them and the humans. And this dragon, this water dragon, gets like exiled and has to move into the city that Mira is a guard at, and the dragon decides to side with like this anti-human extremist group. And so it's about this political tension between the Fathom Folk and the humans. It sounds really interesting. I'm particularly like enamored with the whole drowned city aspect. I think that's going to be really interesting. And I haven't read too many books that had like a siren protagonist, so I'm interested to see how the siren like powers work, like how sirens as a creature, how they are going to be represented in this book, because I used to be really obsessed with like sirens and mermaids and all that good stuff. So but I haven't read a like mermaid type fantasy book in a really long time, so I'm excited to check this one out, and I hope it's going to be really good. As I was filming this, I actually got a knock on my door with some more book mail, so let me show you what I got. This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan is a romance novel about a woman named Soledad who has recently gone through a divorce, and she's trying to keep a roof over her and her daughter's heads after she was a stay-at-home mom for the majority of her marriage. So she's kind of picking up the pieces to her life, and she meets this single dad named Jediah, and this is supposed to be a romance between the two of them while she's kind of reclaiming her power and getting her life back on track. I read the first book in this series and really enjoyed it, so I hope I'm going to love this one. And this cover is so stunning. I think I like this cover better than the first book in the series. Let me know what you think, though. Alright, so in this one, we got a really exciting arc, An Education in Malice by S.T. Gibson. This is a sapphic dark academia book, and I am so excited. I love S.T. Gibson. Like, I am obsessed with A Dowry of Blood. I have reread that 3 times already, and I read it the first time in, I believe, 2021. I absolutely adored it. It's just my favorite vampire story ever. I just love S.T. Gibson's writing style, and I just think her writing style is kind of like, it's very like overwrought and dramatic and lyrical and poetic, and I really enjoy that kind of writing style. And so I just adored it. Like, I am so obsessed with A Dowry of Blood. But I also recently read Evocation, which was awesome. That is like a modern like fantasy story, and so it's set in the modern world, but it's about like this secret society of wizards and warlocks, and it's about these characters named David and Reese who were ex-boyfriends, and now they are like competing against each other, being the head sorcerer of this secret society that they're a part of. And in the midst of them like fighting about who's going to be in charge of this secret society, David is also struggling with like this generational curse that's trying to kill him before he turns 30. And as if they don't have enough problems, there's also like a throuple relationship brewing. That book was so good. That book was absolutely incredible. Like, I could say a million good things about it. It was just so up my alley, and so that really solidified S.T. Gibson for me as like one of my favorite authors. So I'm so excited to read this sapphic dark academia by her. And from what I understand, this book also has to do with some vampires, I think. this is like a Carmilla retelling from what I understand. So this is about this girl Laura who comes to university and she enters into like this academic rivalry with a girl named Carmilla, and I think it's going to be really good. Like I said, I'm already biased because I'm obsessed with S.T. Gibson, but I love a good dark academia, I love the gaze, and I love her writing style. So it just seems like a match made in heaven for me personally. So I know I'm gonna have fun with this. This book is also a February release. I know I will. I am trying to hold off on reading this because I want to devote February to reading books by Black authors, but it's like a siren song. It's calling to me and I really, really want to read it. So we'll see. We'll see if I'm strong enough to hold off and just read it later, but I want to read it so bad, like right now. Okay, so the next two books that I got, I can talk about them together. And this was That Time I Got Drunk and Yeeted a Love Potion at a Werewolf, and That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Human. This is a part of the Mead Mishaps series. I believe this is book 2 and 3 in the series. And yeah, so this is like a fantasy romance series by Kimberly Lemming. Everybody seems to really love this series. The first one is The Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon. And yeah, so I definitely want to check these out, and they recently were picked up by Orbit and they got like a cover redesign, and the new cover illustrator is like amazing. I wish I knew what their name is. I wonder if it's like in here at the beginning of the book or something maybe. Okay, it says that the cover art was by Mike Pape. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that last name right, but the cover artist is here on the inside flap, which I love. That's amazing. I think that cover artists do not get enough credit in like the book community for the work that they do and how influential they are on what books are like successful and what's getting picked up. But I will say that the original cover art that Kimberly Lemming did herself was also really adorable. But I feel like these covers suit the vibe a little bit better because I think that her book covers looked a little bit cartoony, and these books are definitely adult. So I think that these ones project an adult fantasy vibe that the other ones didn't necessarily to me, even though the other ones are really, really cute. So anyway, I'm going on and on and on about the cover art, but all you really need to know though is that these are really fun like fantasy romance books with Black main characters, mostly Black women, and I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with the covers. I can't wait to be obsessed with the series. I have read That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon, but yeah, I'm excited to get deeper into the series, and I think I might read these this month. We'll see. I'm excited to check them out because like I said, I'm in my fantasy romance bag a little bit, so we'll see. And then we got a change of pace in terms of genre, but I got my book of the month box obviously, and so I got 2 books from book of the month. Okay, so Good Material is about this guy who's a stand-up comedian, and his girlfriend has recently broken up with him, and after their breakup he now needs to find like a new place to stay, and he has a lot of questions about what went wrong in their relationship and why everything is the way that it is. So this is like a story about a romantic disaster, and I'm really interested to see how this book is going to go and how I'm going to like it, because I know a lot of people really enjoy Dolly Alderton's other book. I think it's called like Everything I Know About Love. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. So yeah, I know that she has that book, which is nonfiction, and I do think that she has some other fiction books. I don't know. Her fiction books are not very highly rated, but the nonfiction seems to be really well loved. So I'm interested to see how this book's going to go and if I'm going to enjoy it. Yeah, and so The Fox Wife is a historical fantasy like folklore tale, and it is about a person is found dead in 1808 in Manchuria, and so this is about like the mystery of that person's death and trying to uncover what happened to her, because she was a courtesan, and so they're trying to discover what happened to her and how she died. They believe it's a murder, and so this is a murder mystery, but it has like some fox god like folkloric inspirations, and it's kind of about like the intersection between humanity and mortality and like the gods and these spirits and everything like that. And it just sounds like it's going to be really interesting, and I've heard amazing things about this author's previous works, so I am excited to read this one and check it out. So the last 2 books that I have to haul today are Son of the Storm and Warrior of the Wind. These are book 1 and 2 in the Nameless Republic series, and this is a West African inspired fantasy, and it follows a character named Donso who is a scholar. There are actually several POVs, but I'm mostly going to talk about like Donso's role in the story so far, because I read the first book about 2 or 3 years ago at this point, and honestly I'm a little bit rusty on the details, but I definitely am intrigued to see how the story is going to go forward. But Danso, he is a scholar, and this is about him in this like institution of higher learning in his civilization. It's like really big deal that he goes to this school, and he's sort of a like wayward and distracted academic stereotype. And so this is about his dynamic with other students within the institution, as well as his dynamic with the society that he lives in, as he learns more about the creation of the empire that he is a part of and the secrets that they are hiding from their citizenry. And so this is about him discovering those things, and there's a lot of things happening in the underbelly of the society that he lives in. And there's, like I said, several POVs, so there's a lot of moving parts. And it's a very slow-paced fantasy where you're just slowly learning like more and more, but it's not a very action-heavy book. But there is this character named Eshime who is so interesting, and like I really loved her chapter. She doesn't have too many, but on the rare occasions that we got to see her POV and what she was thinking about and what she was cooking up, like I was obsessed. So I definitely wanted to read more from the series, and so we have Warrior of the Wind, and I'm excited to see where things are gonna go next. I definitely will have to reread Son of the Storm, because it's been so long since I read it, and I definitely don't remember all the details. So I think for the best reading experience for book 2, I should probably reread. I'm really excited about this. I haven't read like a black fantasy book series in a really long time. I may be lying. I think the last one that I read and like finished was the Broken Earth trilogy, I think, by N.K. Jemisin. That was probably the last one that I read. So I'm excited to have another one to like sink my teeth into and obsess over. So yeah, we got these two. Here's my little book haul of all of the book mail that I received so far this year. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video, hopefully. Bye, you guys. Mwah.